you're here with the City Show. Are you a concerned resident there? That's why we do this show. Got a lot of Jersey City today. A lot of things going on in Jersey City. And we'll be talking about that. You got the Democratic Convention going on remotely. You can watch it. I guess you could probably watch it on YouTube. YouTube and Facebook and wherever you watch your streaming. Maybe live stream. I didn't bother my network live stream. I just renewed for another year there. We got a lot of vote by mail going on. You heard Pelosi and Bob Menendez wants to protect the United States Post Office. They're acting as if this was like the post office was a Swiss watch and it runs fine. There's a lot of issues with the post office. With that for another show. I'll probably talk about that on Thursday's show. And we're getting ready to go on a hiatus. We're going to take about 3 weeks off. We're going to start working on the studio here. We're going to put in the new video wall. We're going to update some graphics. We're going to update how, maybe even this show here, how it looks. We're going to change some things. I have ideas in my head for Mike and Jonathan to execute. We're going to try to freshen things up a little bit. And that's what we do on a hiatus. And we decide what shows are going to go forward. And we'll decide what new shows come in. We have a few new shows that are online. We've done some demos. We just got to make sure the commitment's there. Today we're going to talk about contaminated water in Jersey City. How did it happen? When did it happen? Who knew it had happened? And if you've been on Twitter, you've seen all the Twitter conspiracy theories on that. I have an interview today with Liz Diebold from Airbnb. Remember that from last year. My daughters purchased a home in Seaside Heights, and they're renting one of the units at Airbnb. You'll hear my opinion of the service. Actually, I'll tell you now, I think it's pretty good. And we're going to talk about the Civilian Complaint Review Board here in Jersey City. You're watching The City Show. I'll be right back.
The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning, life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
We're back to watching The City Show. I'm here, you're there. Don't forget all the stuff that goes on the bottom of the screen, Twitter or YouTube, our live stream, our email. Any way you need to get in touch with us, we are very, very available. E. coli was detected in Jersey City water on August the 11th. Problem is, we in Jersey City didn't know about it until August the 14th, Friday. Why did that happen? How did it happen? Who caused it to happen? There's still no determination yet. The city council is talking about bringing Suez in front for a grilling. Be honest with you, we shouldn't have Suez here. By now, we should be running our own water department like we did in the old days. We didn't get Suez in here until Schindler needed money to close a budget gap and sold our water department. We probably, at this point, I think we just renewed with them, hopefully for 5 years, and that was a couple of years ago. They're not, in my opinion, they're not a good company, and we could do better. If Suez can make millions of dollars in profit on Jersey City water, we should be making that millions of dollars in profit to cut your taxes, but that's for another show and another day. Suez notified Christ Hospital on Palisade Avenue of the E. coli issue. We, the city of Jersey City, the residents anyway, weren't notified until Friday. Christ Hospital was told on Tuesday. Possibly, Suez may have felt that Christ Hospital was the cause of the E. coli contamination. That still hasn't been ruled out. And of course, as you know now, the boil advisory is over. Why wasn't the residents of Jersey City told until Friday. Now, some people are blaming Mayor Fulop. Let me get this out front. I guarantee you, Mayor Fulop, the minute he heard about the water, we heard about the water. The guy lives on Ogden Avenue here in Jersey City. He's got a toddler at home, JJ. I think JJ's about a year and a half old now. He's got a daughter due in October. He's not screwing around with any water. Somebody didn't tell him. Either Suez didn't tell the city, or Suez told the MUA, and the MUA didn't notify City Hall until Friday. But I guarantee you, as soon as Mayor Fulop heard about this water problem, that advisory went out. It's fairly isolated, it seems, in the area of Christ Hospital on Palisade Avenue. There is construction work going on, as you well know if you're in the Heights, by 139 and Palisade Avenue. There's construction going on for the last 2-3 years in that area. There may have been a break in a pipe. Now keep in mind, our water supply and our sewer supply, the two never meet, put it that way. Somehow they did here. So maybe it's caused by the construction. There are some who believe it may have been caused by Christ Hospital. I'm assuming by the time I'm back on the air Thursday, we'll probably have some kind of conclusion as to how the contamination happened. But it wasn't heavy, but it was contaminated, and we had a boil of water advisory in effect for probably about 36 hours. If you follow me on Twitter, even when they said they lifted the advisory, I told everybody, open up every faucet, not just the kitchen sink, a bathroom sink, the tubs, every faucet, you got showers. Let that thing run for about 5 to 10 minutes to be sure you got all this out. This notification was handled poorly. I'm almost sure when we talk about handled poorly, Suez pops right into my mind. So I'm sure at the end of the day, we will find Suez mishandled this. Like I said, they may have notified Christ Hospital first. 2 reasons. Maybe they feel they were the contaminators, or being the hospital, let's make sure they know there's an issue with the water. Then I believe they probably have to notify the MUA, who should have notified the City Hall. But we'll find out in the future what happened there. We're going to break the commercial. You're watching The City Show. I'll be right back.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
You know those times when you need to see the doctor, but you just can't get to the doctor? So where do you go? Go to the App Store, download the Telemed app from RWJ Barnabas Health, and you see the doctor right away. From any mobile device, whenever you want, wherever you are.
Quality care, no appointment necessary. The doctor is online when you download the Telemed app.
Don't you feel better already?
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
We're back. You're watching The City Show here, and now my guest is a buddy of mine from Airbnb, Liz Diboll. Is she there? Where are you, Liz?
I'm here. Hi, Pat.
There she is.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, kid. Welcome back. I haven't had you back since the big question in Jersey City.
Yes, it's been a while.
Quick question. I now have a personal experience with Airbnb, and I have nothing but good things to say about Airbnb. From how they handle the clients to the payments. My kids have a rental property in Seaside Heights. It's a 2-family. The downstairs first floor is a rental, and upstairs is for the family, whether the kids are there or I'm there, whatever the case is. I have nothing but good things to say. Airbnb does backgrounds on these people. They copy their driver's license. There's reviews. 24 hours after the person checks in, the money's in your account. And I read where municipalities have a problem with Airbnb. We went through it with Jersey City, and now you're seeing it in Robbinsville. I think what they did may have been illegal because they moved that ordinance pretty quick in Robbinsville, New Jersey. Atlantic City
is looking at some changes concerning short-term rentals, and they always focus on Airbnb. Airbnb isn't the problem. It's the property owner that's the problem. And one of the biggest ones recently, I think it was in Jackson, New Jersey, where somebody just purchased a home. 3 days later, they had like a big house party, and it was and the people that rented the home were Airbnb. That's not Airbnb's fault if the property owner is going to allow these kind of functions on their property. We would never allow that here with my kids' property. For that matter, we had one guest that we turned down. It was a parent that was going to send a daughter, I think she was 19, with 2 other friends, 18 and 19 years old, without adult supervision. And I turned that down because I just knew that's going to be a problem. In Seaside Heights, no less, going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And Airbnb gets tagged for this, but it isn't Airbnb that's the problem. It's the actual property owner who is not paying attention to their property, or they're just in it for the money. And no matter who you rent, if you let your tenants just run wild in your property, whether it's Airbnb or you rented it yourself, you're the one that ultimately is responsible. Am I correct?
Well, that's why we, as you saw, following the incident in Jackson Township a couple of weeks back, we wanted to make sure that we were taking action, right? Again, it's our hosts are responsible for, monitoring the activity in their home and making sure that they're following any sort of state public health guidance or local ordinances year round. But, in that sort of specific incidents, we were looking at what was happening and we said, hey, look, we can see that there are 35 listings across the state that have generated neighbor complaints, that we are seeing some sort of suspicious behavior that is not in line with our terms of service and our vision for our community. And so we actually went ahead and we suspended and removed those listings. And I think, with that, we were trying to make a really clear statement to what you were just saying, which is that, look, if not following, not being respectful of your community, and not following our clear terms of service and public health guidance, we're going to take action, right? We do not want to see that happening on the platform. And so, yes, it's the responsibility of our hosts, but at the same time, we feel that it is important that we as a platform step in and lead the way in making sure that we are setting a clear public standard for what we believe is acceptable. And so that is exactly what we did in that instance. And we followed through with that. We have, banned unauthorized parties. We have, created clear guidance for our community in response to the pandemic and public health guidance. We even, and you were just sort of mentioning another situation, we actually have now gone ahead and implemented across the nation a new policy that restricts guests under the age of 25 from making last minute bookings within their own community. So say you're in Seaside Heights, you're under 25, you live in Seaside Heights, you're looking to book a listing for the next day in Seaside Heights, you're not going to be allowed to do that. If you want to go and book a listing in, Newark, because you want to go visit family up in Newark, you would be allowed to do that, but you can't book a listing last minute in the same community. So this is sort of following, we want to be really clear. Our commitment is to the safety of our hosts, our guests, as well as the communities in which our hosts live, in which we operate.
Well, before we break for commercial, you got a shout out from our governor here, Governor Murphy, about the actions that Airbnb took.
Yes, we did. We were really pleased, because again, for us, it is so important. We want to be seen as a partner to communities. We want to be seen as a partner to the state, not just in what we did on Party Houses, but in many other ways, right? We work with communities. You're just mentioning some regulations. We work with communities all across the state to try to be a partner and be able to provide guidance on what we've seen works and what doesn't work with regulation. And that's something that we are going to continue to do, obviously, during the pandemic and beyond.
All right, we're going to break the commercial. You're watching Liz here, my buddy from Airbnb. I'm Pat O'Melia. You're watching The City Show. We'll be right back. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Rama Jewelers, located in the Lyndhurst Shopping Center at 413 Valley Brook Avenue, Lyndhurst. Come for all your jeweler needs at Rama Jewelers, where you will find a fine selection of necklaces, earrings, rings, and bracelets. Choose from one of our complete sets, our many signature items, or find the perfect engagement ring. Come on down. That's Rama Jewelers at 413 Valley Brook Ave, Lyndhurst. Call 201-939-5784 or visit us online today.
We're back. You're watching the City Show. The time it didn't go up, but there, I got it. Now I got it. You're watching the City Show. Pat O'Melia here, and let's bring our guest back, Liz DeBold from Airbnb. My buddy, Liz, come on back. You want a coffee?
You again. Have me.
You want some lukewarm coffee? I have it right here.
I'll stick with my ice off camera.
I mentioned Robbinsville. Marty Smalls in Atlantic City he's pitching some Airbnb ordinances for Atlantic City. To me, it kind of looks like a money grab for what Marty's trying to do, but everything's a money grab, I get. What will happen in Jersey City? Is there any thought of Airbnb going to your supporter, Governor Murphy here in New Jersey, and seeing if you can get a statewide regulation for Airbnb?
Yeah, so, it's certainly an idea that's been raised in the past. Our position is, generally, zoning and housing is decided by local communities in New Jersey. And every community has a different way in which they want to handle zoning, handle housing, and handle short-term rentals, right? The way that an urban area like Hoboken is going to choose to handle short-term rentals is going to be very different from how, the Pine Barrens will want to handle short-term rentals and how the Shore is going to want to regulate short-term rentals. And so for us, we believe that it's better to work directly with communities and to collaborate with them on regulations that could fit the needs of their local short-term rental community. And that's something that we're absolutely willing to do. I always say I'm a very reachable person. I'm based here in New Jersey. I live in Matawan. I'll go to any corner of the state and meet with any community. Doesn't matter if you have one short-term rental or 1,000. I want to meet with you, and I'm more than happy to talk about what kind of regulations could make sense for your community. And certainly if there's any issues that community is having with short-term rentals, I want to hear about them because, certainly that is a commitment by our platform. It's in line with what we call our community compact, which is a promise we've made to municipalities to work with them around our short-term rental community. And that's something that we would love to do. And the opportunity is very much open.
Well, anyway, I can help you get that message out. You got both studios at your disposal. What kind of data do you have on short-term rentals in New Jersey in particular?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that one of the major trends we're seeing nationwide, as well as specifically in New Jersey right now, is a trend of nearby stays. And I think that's really important to note. People are not looking to fly. They're looking to get in their car and drive. And so we are seeing huge upticks and a significant increase in host earnings in many markets across the country from guests who live within 200 to 300 miles of that destination. So here in New Jersey, I'm thinking about my own travel. I'm looking to go down to Cape May in the next couple of weeks, potentially. And that's the kind of travel that we're seeing. People from other parts of New Jersey taking this opportunity to get in the car and see other parts of their state. And certainly that's true for the Shore, which always is a hot destination during the summer. But I think we're also seeing that in other areas of the state as well. And the other major trend we're seeing is actually a trend around rural travel. People are looking to get out of cities and go to more rural areas where they can be outdoors, they can safely social distance. And we are actually seeing over last year in rural communities across the country, as well as in New Jersey, host income in those areas is up by 25% compared to last year. And I think that's just a really interesting way of capturing the beauty of short-term rentals. These rural areas, they don't have hotels. If they didn't have short-term rentals, there'd be no way for somebody to go and stay and visit and drive dollars into those communities. And that's what the opportunity that, I think has emerged out of this crisis for many families during, we're on the edge and in the middle of one of the most severe economic crises of our time, that short-term rentals is creating economic opportunities in places where it may not have traditionally existed.
Oh, it changed it. You got people who are unemployed. They still have mortgages, property taxes, and Airbnb is a godsend. And you take, like my daughters, they're young, they're getting into real estate and investment properties. Airbnb has been nothing but a positive experience, and I personally see it. And the trick to Airbnb is the property owners have to manage their property. Airbnb will get them the clients, but you have to manage the property. If there's no rules and no oversight, things can go sideways on you pretty quick. And that's the whole secret, in my opinion.
Oh, I am so glad to hear that you all have had a positive experience with the platform. Yeah, absolutely. It's so important for us that, our hosts, are good neighbors, right? We want to be a good neighbor, and we hope that our hosts are good neighbors as well. And I think that the vast majority of them are. It's the small minority, and those are, again, as we've been done in New Jersey, as we've been doing in other markets across the country. Those are the small minorities that we're taking a stand and saying, we're going to take action if we see that you are, again, causing issues in your community and violating our terms of service.
And you delist them. You're doing the right thing. Airbnb has been nothing but professional to deal with, and they are concerned with the community. All right, we're out of time, kid. But I'd like to have you back on more of a regular basis than like once a year. Liz, you be good?
I would love to join anytime. Have me back anytime.
You got it. Any way I can help you with Airbnb, just give me a call. All right, that's Liz DeBow, Airbnb. I strongly recommend using them. You're watching The City Show. We're going to break for commercial. We'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers the quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport. Live like you want.
We're back. That was my buddy Liz from Airbnb. I'm a big believer in Airbnb. Airbnb isn't a problem, like I say in the show there. It's the homeowners that are the problem. Civilian Complaint Review Board. This is being pushed by Wardy Councilman James Solomon. For the record, I requested an interview with James Solomon for this show or even Thursday's show. He couldn't make himself available until after September when his children go back to school. I texted him back saying, we're doing this remotely. You don't have to come in the studio. But he was not available. Do we need a Civilian Complaint Review Board? It wouldn't hurt. They got it in New York City. They got some sort of one in Newark, but there are legal questions to these that need to be filtered out. But in the bigger picture, Now, I want to, again, I also want to say I'm pro Jersey City PD. I'm pro law enforcement, period. I think between trying to reduce the size, again, Councilman Solomon would like to reduce the size of our police force and use funding for other services and other programs. I would say 97% of the people of Jersey City want cops, want more cops. We probably should find a balance, maybe 1,000 cops. But that's, Thursday we'll be discussing this. We're going to talk about the Civilian Review Board here. I'll say, all right, let's go with a review board, but I need professionals on there. Now, James is talking about civic organizations throughout Jersey City, but he's only talking about 3 or 4 of them. There are a lot of civic organizations in Jersey City. If I'm going to pull out a chair for any of the civic organizations, I should be pulling out the chair for all of the civic organizations. You know, we have some great ones here. We have great organizations on Nelson Avenue, Riverview, Fisk Park, you know, they're all over the city. We shouldn't just limit ourselves to 4 or 5. Plus, I would want professionals with legal backgrounds on a review board. You know, I want retired judges, state, municipal, civil court, retired law professors. We could take law students on this review board, retired lawyers, court mediators, retired police, retired state troopers. You know, if we're going to make judgments on law enforcement careers, that whatever that decision from the Civilian Review Board is, will stay with that individual for their life. It's in their employee folder. And when you're looking at the bigger picture, and in the world of shared services, maybe we expand this, because I don't know if there's a review board anywhere in Hudson County. So we can go a little wider with this and go county-wide. You know, include all of the municipalities here in Hudson County, sort of like shared services. And 2, you know, if we put together a civilian review board, county-wise, anybody who's representing, say, Jersey City could recuse themselves. Maybe we have 7 to 9 member board, X amount of people from X city as you want, but as long as they're professionals in that field, they have to understand the legal world and the world of law enforcement. Again, all of us civic warriors here in Jersey City, nobody respects you more than me, because I'm one of you, but when we're talking about decisions on careers of law enforcement, we need people who understand that or are in that world. Again, that's lawyers, retired judges, retired police officers, law professors. You know, we have people in Seton Hall. You know, we can get this county-wide. And by going with county, it's a bigger pool to draw from people with legal backgrounds and knowledge, if we're going to have a complaint review board. And that brings in Jersey City, and that brings in all the other PDs, plus the Sheriff's Department. So if we're going to have a civilian complaint review board, let's make it county-wide. There's a reason we don't have civilian judges on the courts. We have judges from the legal world with degrees. And that's how we have to look at a civilian complaint review board. I'm Pat O'Melia. You be good, you be safe. I'll talk to you Thursday. Good night.